also. So there's something which we can learn, that there can be varieties of devotees. It may be looking as if it's very ghastly, but they're also greatest Vaishnavas of the Lord. Especially the day this Bhima killed Dusasan, even Karna started trembling. Karna started, he can't be human being. Because he drank the blood from the chest of Dusasan. So devotees can also have different flavors. And that is how we should be more accommodative. So there's something which we can learn. Now begins the battle between Ashwatthama and Arjuna. Please read 18th and 19th.
Hare Krishna. Pranams to all. Next 18. Ashwatthama, the murderer of the princess, seeing from a great distance Arjuna coming at him with great speed, fled in his chariot, panic-stricken just to save his life, as Brahma fled in fear from Shiva. Next, read. Yes, also?
Yes, please.
Yes. When the son of Brahmana, Ashwatthama, saw that his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra, nuclear weapon. Hare Krishna.
So then Ashwatthama could find only one weapon, that was Brahmastra, and that shows the effect of bodily consciousness. When a person becomes very sinful or very too much bodily conscious, worrying only about his own sense gratification, then he becomes so selfish that he doesn't look or care for the pain of others. And that is why one of the reasons why Prabhupada said, this is something which I heard from Hanuman Presak Maharaj. So if anybody has a question, they can ask from him only. So Maharaj was telling that Prabhupada said that my disciples have not fallen down till they start eating meat. So he was saying in this way, Prabhupada would consider meat eating as to be the lowest among breaking 40 principles. Because enjoying at the cost of others' pain is considered very, very despicable. It's very, very much condemned. So there are some permitted enjoyment, some non-permitted enjoyment, but especially enjoying at the cost of others is considered very bad. It's very despicable. And Ashwatthama here was ready to destroy the entire universe just to save himself. He knew that Brahmastra can do any harm, any limit, harm to any extent. Still he did the Brahmastra. Yeah. So please continue. You can read 2021.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Text 20. Since his life was in danger, he touched water in sanctity and concentrated upon the chanting of the hymns for throwing nuclear weapons, although he did not know how to withdraw such weapons. Yes.
Please read 21 also.
Yeah. Thereupon, a glaring light spread in all directions. It was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life is in danger, and so he began to address Lord Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So he was not able to withdraw because mentally he broke the principle of Brahmacharya. So that's why he was not able to withdraw the weapon of Brahmastra. Because he agreed, he didn't like, he was silent. Maunam Samati Lakshanam. When Duryodhana said that you can beget a child or the next person for our own dynasty in my wife's womb. So mentally, because he agreed, so that's why he was not able to withdraw the weapon. Now this is like a famous verse, and we will find these lines coming at many, many places. Especially the first line. Vrajavasi speak the same lines when they were tormented by Indra. They also spoke the same lines when they were surrounded by the forest fire. So similar verses here also. And I think even when Ashwatthama releases the weapon, so that time, as far as I remember, while Parikshit Maharaj was in his womb of his mother also cried the same prayers. Arjuna Vacha. Maybe you can repeat.
Arjunavacha.
Arjunavacha.
Krishna Krishna Mahabhaho
Krishna Krishna Mahabhavo.
Bhaktanam Abhayankara
Bhaktanam Abhayankara.
Tvam Eko Dahymananam
Tvam Eko Dayamananam.
Apavargo Asi Samsrite.
Apargo Asi Samskritehe.
Is it the translation in the purpose?
Can you
Arjun said, "O my Lord Shri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only."
Please read the purport also.
Arjuna was aware of the transcendental qualities of Lord Shri Krishna as he had already experienced them during the Kurukshetra war, in which both of them were present. Therefore, Arjuna's version of Lord Krishna is authoritative. Krishna is almighty and is especially the cause of fearlessness for the devotees. A devotee of the Lord is always fearless because the protection given by the Lord. Material existence is something like a blazing fire in the forest, which can be extinguished by the mercy of Lord Shri Krishna. The spiritual master is the mercy representative of the Lord. Therefore, a person burning in the flames of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent media of self-realized spiritual master. The spiritual master, by his words, can penetrate into the heart of suffering person and inject knowledge transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence.
Yes.
So what is Prabhupada is referring here? Rains of mercy. Which is that verse?
Sansara
Sansara
Dhavan.
Dhavana Lalitam.
Very simple. All the devotees recite daily. Sansar Dhavanam Lilaga. Pranaya Karnanya Dhana Dhana. Praptasya Kalyana Gudanavasya Vanda Guru Sujana. And spiritual master can penetrate in the heart of suffering person and inject knowledge. What is that verse?
Yes. Yasya Deva Tat.
Yes, please continue.
Chakra.
Yasya Deva Parabhaktir. Tatha
Tatha
Deva.
Deve. Sorry, Tatha Deve. Sorry, आप ही बोल
नहीं, you only continue. You only continue.
Forget the words.
Okay, okay. Tatha Deva
Tatha Yasya.
Tathayartha Prakasantu Mahatmani. So this verse also says that if somebody is faith on the words of spiritual master and the Supreme Lord, then transcendental knowledge is revealed in the heart. So this spiritual knowledge, it is not this material knowledge, it is revealed knowledge, which is revealed from the heart. Because transcendental sound vibration is not like ordinary sound vibration. It is vibration which is there from the spiritual realm. As far as we know about Harinam, Prabhupada has spoken so many times. Golokera Premdana Harinam Sankirtan. So our this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is imported material from the Golok Vrindavan. So it's a transcendental sound vibration. Similarly, Krishna Katha is also transcendental sound vibration. And this transcendental sound vibration can be spoken by a person who is on the transcendental platform, then it penetrates. So as we know, there are 4 types of sounds given in the 11th canto. So Para, Pasyanti, Madhyama and Vaikhari. So Vaikhari is something which we literally speak from the tongue. But it is Para sound which directly penetrates the heart. That is from the spiritual realm. In Brahmaji, when he heard the transcendental sound vibration from Lord Narayan, it was in the form of Para. It entered from the Mooladhara Chakra and slowly started raising upwards. And then the Vedic version came from the mouth of Brahma. So that is how this particular sound vibration, which is Para, can be spoken by a person who is on the transcendental realm. And that is why mantras, especially the Gayatri mantras and similar mantras, they work only when they are spoken from a bona fide spiritual master in the proper parampara, who is on the transcendental plane, because ordinary person cannot speak that mantra. One night it so happened, now I'll not tell the name of the devotee, he's also very senior Prabhupada disciple. So Prabhupada went and he gave Brahman Diksha to one devotee. And when Prabhupada returned, he saw that this particular devotee is doing the management of the temple, and there are 4 other people who are doing Pujari Seva. So Prabhupada was shocked. Prabhupada was saying, these people are not Brahman initiated, how they are doing Seva? So then this devotee said that actually Prabhupada, I was alone and I was alone not able to do the deity worship. So I thought it is 4 devotees service. So then I gave them Gayatri Mantra and I gave them this Brahman thread. And now we are able to manage the deity worship very nicely and temple is working very properly now. So it's a good management strategy. Prabhupada said, no, it may be a good management strategy, but spiritually it is not good. So I cannot tell the name, he's like very senior person. Prabhupada is very close to Prabhupada. So Brahman Diksha, it can be accepted only from a realized soul. So when he speaks the words, it works. So this particular verse also, especially it highlights how a devotee takes shelter of the Lord, and Lord actually gives shelter to the devotees. So I would just request few devotees, maybe they can relate their experiences when they were really in difficulty, they prayed, and how Lord answered their prayers. So somebody would like to share for all the devotees' benefit. So in their personal life, they felt somewhere they were really in difficulty and Krishna just saved unexpectedly. Please don't be shy. Okay, maybe devotees can take 2 minutes to think. And you can present only those things which you feel comfortable to say.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So if nobody is speaking, I'll share. Can I share my experience, Prabhuji?
Maybe just you can wait for 1 more minute. Maybe more devotees can also share. Sachinandan Prabhu was there and you can also share. So just 1 more minute. Maybe all more devotees can think. Let us give 1 more minute to devotees. Okay, maybe now, if Satyananda Hariprabhu permits, maybe Dhananjay Prabhu can speak. He is very enthusiastic, and then Satyananda Hariprabhu can speak. Yes, Dhananjay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So that was way back in 87, because I joined IIT Kanpur in 1984. And there we had as chronic asthmatic. So every semester I used to, and I started this ISKCON activities at IIT Kanpur in somewhere around 1984, November, something like that. And in the guidance of Prithu Prabhu. So almost it was a standard that every semesters I will 3 times get admitted in our health center, and then several times I'll get a shots and oxygens, and that is what I was continuing. And besides that, I was involved in many activities as well. So it continued up till all the semesters. So that was the 7 semesters. And it came to the brim where they have given me a steroid and everything. And finally in the health center, they left it that we can't do much about it. So in the night I was praying, because basically I was young, and that is what it was continuing, that probably we have started this Prabhupada missions and all these activities in a very early stage. And I do had some material ambitions, at least I should complete my undergrad. So that time I prayed, and finally it was all mercy of the Lord that by the morning I survived. And then some senior doctors came from the CD, and then they have given some additional injections of RBC, because RBC also came down because of I was feeling, and finally I restored. So this was all mercy that I could able to survive and continue. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hari Hari. Krishna saved their life. Then, yes, Sachinandan, Hari.
Hare Krishna. I was in college, and I had a hobby of investing in stock market. So it started as a hobby, but then it became a very bad habit. And slowly and gradually I was investing heavily, and I had a lot of debt. So people were running for money after me, and I was running faster than them. So, but then there was a time when people told me that if you don't pay the money, then we'll take legal action against you. So I did not have any way as how I can actually repay them. And in those days, I had first time saw Rath Yatra of ISKCON. So when I saw Jagannath Ji and the whole Rath and all the devotees, I was really enthusiastic about the whole process. And I just prayed to Jagannath Ji and all the devotees that if I can really come out of this problem, I'll be very thankful, and I'll repay and all that. So now, so slowly and gradually, by the mercy of Lord Krishna and Jagannath Ji, things started getting better. And it is only by the mercy of Lord Krishna that I was able to come out of that big problem.
Yeah. Krishna saved.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. So another episode of Krishna saving. Yes. Damodar Bhakti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam. Prabhuji, it was in 2013. I had my daughter, she was hardly 1.5 years old. And I was thinking what to do in my life, because once upon a time I was a dentist, and now I was like a housewife, and I was in dilemma what to do. And overall I went to my hometown, leaving my husband's house. And for 6 months, I was reading, in the night, I was praying Krishna. And knowingly or unknowingly, I used to wake up at night and open the drawer just to change the diapers of my daughter. And this Bhagavad Gita, it's kind of bombshell, it comes out. And I started reading. And I was thinking, my God, Krishna has written Mudha. Am I idiot? Am I a foolish person? I was arguing with Krishna. And knowingly or unknowingly, I was doing this for 6 months. Then I got that courage and I came back to Noida. And I don't know from where the 2 ladies came to my home within 6 days. And they said, there is a function for some new temple. I said, no, I don't go to temple. And I was knowingly or unknowingly praying to Krishna. And the way he was dragging me, it was the date on 2014. There was the DT installation of Noida temple, Sri Radha Govind Dev. And I don't know how I went there. For whole day I was sitting there. And with my daughter, a small daughter, such a confused personality, and tears were rolling down, and all the pure devotees, everybody was dancing. So that was the day for again my rebirth, and it was the mercy of Krishna, how he was dragging me, how he was forcing me to come to the temple, and I was saying no to everyone. That is the mercy of Krishna.
Hari, Hari. So anyway, this is always a famous episode, how I came to Krishna consciousness. All devotees have their different stories. So I'll also share one devotee's story. Some of you may be knowing, our Radha Raman Fu from Calcutta. So he was sharing how he came to Krishna consciousness. So he was studying in Moscow State University, mechanical engineer there. And because he's Indian, he happened to go to ISKCON temple there, local, and he purchased some Prabhupada book. And while he was returning, so in Russia, especially in those days, if you come back in night time or evening time, there is a great chance that you will not survive. Because there are a lot of people with the knives, they're always ready to kill even for small money. So around 7 or 8 boys came, they surrounded him, and they kept the knife at his throat. And they started like searching his bag. And they were ready to just kill him, chop him off. And suddenly one boy, he opened his bag and he saw this Prabhupada book. Said, oh, he's a Hare Krishna. Hare Krishnas are good boys. They feed others. So just leave him. And that time Radharani said that okay, wow. Since Krishna has saved my life, I'll dedicate my life for Krishna. So till now, like now he's serving in Calcutta. And because of his hard work, we got our Prabhupada birthplace and Ulta Danda Junction Road. So worked very, very hard. So that is how Krishna, he saves his devotees. Now sometimes Krishna may not save his devotees also. Now we find among the sons of Pandava, but even that is Krishna's service. So I was reading this purport by Prabhupada's disciples, which they have taken from different acharyas on Yassa Hamanu Granami Harasitandan. So in that, the whole process of how Krishna behaves with devotees is spoken there. So initial days, Krishna just behaves with his devotees in a way that they don't leave Krishna and they increase their attachment to Krishna. Because if they ask for something Krishna doesn't give, they'll run away. So Krishna keeps on giving. And when Krishna sees that this fellow has a sufficient attachment for me, then Krishna, now he sees what are the things which are becoming the stumbling blocks in his progress towards myself. So then devotees are attached to those obstacles also, devotees are attached to Krishna also. But they're sufficiently attached to Krishna. Then Krishna uses this thing of Yassa Hamanu Granami. It takes away those attachments. And when those attachments are removed, since devotees are attached to Krishna, what do? They'll cry for Krishna only. And then they really cry for Krishna. Then now Krishna sees that now these obstacles are no more obstacles. Now this devotee is talented enough to use these resources in my service. Then Krishna keeps on giving more and more. And Prabhupada narrates exactly that happened in his own life also. Krishna wanted him to take sannyas. Prabhupada didn't want him to take sannyas. But then Krishna behaved in such a way that now there was a fire in the farm. People to whom he gave medicines didn't pay back. His sons were not ready to take the charge of the home. And then Prabhupada said, Yassa Hamanu Granami. Krishna took away all those things. But when Prabhupada went to West, and now no more attachments were there, no family, nothing. Then Prabhupada said that now Krishna is giving me so much. But then I'm using everything for Krishna's service. So Krishna exactly knows what to give and what to withdraw. Only thing is we should have faith that whatever Krishna is doing is best for him. So that's all. So anyway, but still taking shelter of Krishna, because Krishna, the ultimate protector, is one of the angas of Saranagati, Goptritva Vivaran. Sorry, Avasaraksi Krishna. So Avasaraksi Krishna. And that is why that is certainly praiseworthy in whatever condition. Now we'll go to further to the next verses. Please read 23rd.
Hare Krishna. So, text 25. Thus you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world.
I think you are supposed to read 23rd.
23rd.
Yeah, you are the original.
Yeah. So, text 23rd. You are the original personality of Godhead who expands himself all over the creation and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You are always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. Text 24. And yet, though you are beyond the purview of the material energy, you execute the four principles of liberations characterized by religion and so on for the ultimate good for the conditioned soul.
Yeah. So your original personality of God who expands himself all over the creation and is transcended to material energy. So my dear Lord, I am not affected, but you, I am affected, but you are not affected. So for you, you can do anything. So you are not affected. Similarly, you can cast away the effect of this material energy, this Brahmastra. You yourself are situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. So you have nothing to do with material nature, but at the same time, material nature is under your control. And yet, though you are beyond the purview of material energy, still you do dharma, artha, kama, moksha, or you establish dharma, artha, kama, moksha just for the welfare of the conditioned soul, just to set an example. So what is that verse from Bhagavad Gita which tells that Krishna does things to set an example?
Yadyadarati.
Yes. Yad yada atrati sesha tattate vitarojanam sat paranam kurute lokasat anuvartate. So that is how Lord does it, just to set an example for others. And also for the benefit of all the living entities. Now, amazingly, we find here Arjuna could have asked Krishna to even revive all his 5 sons. And by that time, Krishna had already revived the sons of one personality. Yes, Sachinandan.
One more possibility which is seen here is that Arjuna has already received the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita at this stage. So why is he not accepting this killing of his sons as the fate? And it's a will of Lord Krishna. And why is he running after Ashwatthama to kill him?
Okay, good question. So before question, I want to just have a discussion.
Okay.
We'll come to your question. So the question I was asking is that I forwarded the question only. What question was I asking?
Hare Krishna. So you said that before that, whom he has again made them alive.
Yes, yes. So he revived the sons of Sandipani Muni beforehand only. And it was well known to everyone. So Arjuna could have done that, but Arjuna didn't do that. And then Sachinandan said, but he should have not taken the revenge also. But then there is a principle that a Kshatriya has to show that he has to show that how he is a protector of the citizens, and he also has the responsibility to punish the evil. Because if he doesn't do that, then other citizens will not have faith on the Kshatriya. And that is the reason, although Dhruv Maharaj was self-realized soul, he took the revenge of killing of his brother, Uttam. And he took such a strong revenge that he was about to wipe off the entire dynasty of the Gandharvas. So the responsibility of the Kshatriya to punish. So that's exactly, so what he was doing was totally appropriate. Apart from that, even from the Vaishnava principle point of view, when a Vaishnava is offended in insignificant way, one is supposed to act in some way. And what to say of when five sons and so many other devotees also, these Panchalas were great devotees of Krishna, they all were killed. That too unlawfully. So from that point of view, he was supposed to act. Rather, just because Draupadi was disrobed, Krishna himself wanted a Mahabharata war. So Pandavas were tried to be killed, Draupadi was disrobed. At a point of time, Pandavas had forgiven. Pandavas told Krishna that become my peace messenger and just ask for 5 villages, that's all. It was the time when Duryodhana was not ready to give a land equal to the eye of a needle or head of a needle, so small. That time, Mahabharata war was declared. But Krishna himself wanted Mahabharata war. So that's another episode in Mahabharata which comes. After Draupadi heard that all 5 Pandavas, even Bhima said, why to kill so many people just for our selfish interest? So let there be peace. So Krishna was moving away. So when Krishna was moving away, so then Draupadi asked Krishna, my dear Krishna, what if Kauravas agree to give 5 villages? Krishna said, Draupadi, don't worry, they will not agree. There will be Mahabharata. So Draupadi said that, but if they agree? Krishna said, even if they agree, I will not agree. I'll personally take my weapons and I wipe off all the Kauravas. The very fact that they have offended a devotee like you, they won't go over the whole danger so peacefully. They'll certainly die. The very day they try to disrobe you, they were already killed. Only that time was awaiting. So that is how Krishna doesn't forget. So from the Vaishnava principle point of view was, both from the Varnashram view and from Vaishnava principle, he was supposed to punish Aswatthama. Okay. The further question? No. Okay. So now we can read 25th.
And yet, 25 or 24?
I think 24th is done. 25th is only.
25. Thus you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world and to benefit your friends, especially those who are your exclusive devotees and are constantly wrapped in meditation upon you. O Lord of the Lords.
Yeah. 25th, which is a similar verse to 25th.
Yada yada
परित्राणाय साधूनां
Yeah, Paritranaya.
संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे.
So there, Vishwanath Thakur gives a very beautiful purport. I wanted to just mention that. Paritranaya sadhunam. He comes to deliver the devotees. Then somebody may say, devotees are already delivered. Why Krishna has to deliver the devotees? So Chakravarti Thakur gives a very beautiful purport. He says, he delivers devotees from the pangs of separation from himself. That some other devotee cannot do. Someone else cannot do. That only Krishna can do. So they're longing for Krishna. Krishna has to appear. He has no option. Paritranaya sadhunam. Similarly, about Vinasaya Duskritam. So Krishna can send Kali, Shiva, anybody can kill the demons. Krishna can just indicate the material energy will withdraw its like powers. Mahavishnu can just breathe in, things will be over. Then why Krishna has to come personally? So he says that Krishna kills only those demons who are cursed by the devotees to be killed by him. So Krishna has no option. He can't allow his devotees' words to go false. So that is also his exhibition of his love towards his devotees only. So that's why if you talk about any demon killed in Krishna Leela, they all have their past life, which is given in Garga Samhita. So all demons have their past life. So Paratrana Sadham Vinasa Duskam. And Dharma Sansthapanartha hai. So similarly, he said when other Vishnu incarnations come, they establish that Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, 4 principles. But when Krishna comes, he establishes the Dharma of Sravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam. Because unless Krishna comes and performs his pastimes, devotees will have nothing to discuss. So that's why Krishna comes, performs his pastimes, and then devotees can realize those pastimes. So that is the Dharma which he comes and establishes. And that is one of the reasons why Krishna wanted Yudhishthira Maharaj to sit on the throne. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj, he is following the Dharma of Sravanam Kirtanam. He can teach the Dharma of Sravanam Kirtanam to others. Although Duryodhana may be doing Dharma Artha Kama Moksha very nicely, but he was very averse to Sravanam Kirtanam. So Krishna wanted that. Please reach 26th.
Hare Krishna. O Lord of the Lords, how is it that this dangerous effulgence is spreading all around? Where does it come from? I do not understand it.
So he was able to understand, but he was not very confirmed. How is it happening that such an effulgence is going everywhere? And it's not very pleasing effulgence. It's fear-striking effulgence. And then Krishna starts answering the prayers of Arjuna. Please read 27th.
Yes. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Know from me that this is the act of the son of Drona. He has thrown the hymns of nuclear energy, Brahmastra, and he does not know how to retract the glare. He has helplessly done this, being afraid of imminent death."
So because of fear of death, he has acted in such a ridiculous way,
Yes.
in a very heinous way, and he has thrown this Brahmastra, which is going to finish off everyone. And how can it be counteracted? Please read 28th.
Hare Krishna. O Arjuna, only another Brahmastra can counteract this weapon. Since you are expert in the military science, subdue this weapon's glare with the power of your own weapon.
Yeah. So only you can subdue this weapon's glare by your own Brahmastra. But amazingly, we'll see, immediately Arjuna doesn't release the Brahmastra, he does something. Please read 29th.
Sri Goswami said, hearing this from the personality of Godhead, Arjuna touched water from purification, and after circumambulating Lord Sri Krishna, he cast his Brahmastra weapon to counteract the other one.
Yeah. So he took the water, sipped the water for purification that was required to suddenly release Brahmastra. But then he circumambulated Krishna, took blessings of Krishna, and then he released his own Brahmastra weapon. So similarly, we find that it's a Vaishnava culture to execute, before executing the instructions of the even spiritual master or any great personality, we take the blessings. So can you give some examples how devotees take the blessings of superiors while executing any instruction? Okay, Diksha Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have certainly seen in a marriage ceremony. In a marriage ceremony, it is done that prayers to the spiritual master is invoked before getting into new married life.
Yeah. So they also, before marriage, couple comes together and they take the blessings of the acharyas. And even traditionally, we find that they take blessings of all the deities of local temple. I don't know about other places, at least in North India, it's a very big function. So one whole day is dedicated to take the blessings of the deities of local places. One day from mother's side, the second day. Another day from father's side, all the deities from that side. Then there is Pran Pratishtha done to establish Krishna at the center of the house and take his blessings. Then girl first time she meets the bhoga for the Lord. So then she feeds to all the elderly people and takes their blessings. So that is how a lot of blessings are received by the couple before they come together. So there is a culture.
And Prabhuji, the girl also takes circumambulates the husband before getting married. So another, I think this is also a part of taking blessings, Prabhuji.
Yeah, it's taking blessings.
Also, Prabhu, this Lord Ramchandra, when he was asked to lift the bow, he took blessings from his guru, Lord, I think Vishwamitra Vasishtha, right?
Vasishtha.
Vasishtha. Also in Mahabharata, Arjuna took the blessings of Lord Sri Krishna. He was asked to aim the fish, right? So that time, blessings from the guru or senior devotees.
Before breaking the bow, he took the blessings of Vishwamitra, Lord Ram. I thought you were talking about breaking the bridge.
No, before that.
So bow, he took the blessings of Vishwamitra.
Before starting the war itself, Arjuna actually took the blessings of Dronacharya and Bhishma by throwing arrows at their lotus feet, and then they also blessed him by throwing arrows which just touched his head. So that's how they exchanged.
And that Kshatriya ways of exchanging the blessings. Yeah. So this we find it traditional, but even our Vaishnava circle also, we take blessings. You can give some example which we do as a part of our Vaishnava etiquette.
Prabhuji, before
Mangalacharan.
yes, Prabhuji, Mangalacharan.
Yeah, so before giving
Speaking.
class, we sing Mangalacharan. Something else?
Vaishnav Pranam Mantra. Vaishnav Pranam Mantra when we see the
Devotees.
Vaishnavas, yes.
So we seek their blessings. Even day begins with the blessings. How?
Samsara. Mangalarti, we sing.
Yes, Mangalarti. What is Mangalarti? Ultimately, Mangalarti is seeking blessing from the spiritual master. That is how we begin our day.
Vande Guru.
Yes, Vande Guru. So that is how. Similarly, we find anyway, our acharyas have already shown an example. Like before writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj took blessings from all the deities, Madan Mohan and all other deities, from all the senior devotees. So that is how in Vaishnava circle, taking blessings is a part of Vaishnava culture. And similarly, we find Arjuna also, he circumambulates Krishna and then he releases the Brahmastra. Although it was such an urgency, already Brahmastra was sought. Please read text 30.
Text 30, Hare Krishna. When the rays of the two Brahmastras combined, a great circle of fire, like the disk of the sun, covered all outer space and the whole firmament of planets.
Yeah. Yes, please continue.
All the population of these worlds was crushed by the combined heat of the weapons. Everyone was reminded of the Samvartaka fire, which takes place at the time of annihilation.
Yeah. So the time of annihilation, there is this fire, Samvartaka. Some of the clouds are also there, fire is also there. Fire evaporates all the water combines together, makes a Samvartaka cloud, and they pour the rain. So that continues for 100 years. So such a fire was there. Please continue. 32.
Yes. Thus, seeing disturbance of the general populace and the imminent destruction of the planets, Arjuna at once retracted both Brahmastra weapons as Lord Sri Krishna desired.
Please continue. Other two also translate.
Yes. Arjuna, his eyes blazing in anger like two red balls of copper, dexterously arrested the son of Gautami and bound him with ropes like the animal. Yes. After binding Ashwathama, Arjuna wanted to take him to the military camp, the personality of Godhead of Sri Krishna. Looking on with his lotus eyes, spoke to Arjuna in an angry mood.
Krishna now expresses anger. Ashwatthama should immediately be killed. So Arjuna had that art of retracing both the Brahmastra, because he was very true to Dharma. He never broke the principles of Dharma. And now Arjuna caught Ashwatthama. So Arjuna wanted to take Ashwatthama to military camp to let the Draupadi decide the fate of Ashwatthama. But Krishna had some other opinion. So let's see the arguments. Now Krishna is going to give his arguments. Okay, Dhananjay, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So normally then this knowledge about Brahmastra is given where the condition was that it will not be used for personal gain and this is only for protecting the Dharma. If that is the case, then how he could able to release the Brahmastra when it was more for personal protection? If that the same reason, if it is applicable, then retracting, because releasing is more dangerous, and retracting back is basically the solutions to that. So one side from the Dharma, he is allowed to release the Brahmastra, which is against the reason for which it has been given. But at the same time, later part, which was where it has been compromised, where he was the power of retracting has been withdrawn. So why it is so, Prabhuji?
Okay. So as far as releasing and retracting is concerned, now there are certain conditions. At the same time, art is given to a qualified person. So anybody can shoot a Brahmastra who has that art. But then who is given that power to shoot Brahmastra? Only those who are not selfish, those who are not in body consciousness, they are supposed to use Brahmastra. So that's what my understanding is, because we find Brahmastra was used by even this Indrajit. That is how he was able to slay so many monkeys in the Ramayana war, in the war of Lanka. So even such a heinous person can get Brahmastra, then anybody can use Brahmastra. That's what I understand. He was not even using at the time when he was about to die. So that is what I understand, is such a condition is not there. But what I understand is that retracing is a different art. So the condition for the art is that one should have that purity of mind and the practice of brahmacharya, then one can retrace. Not everybody can retrace. But for shooting, such conditions are not there. That's what I understand. Because the different weapons, there are different time, what do we say, conditions, there are different conditions. And you will find even in our, because you are in, as far as I know, you are in ISRO or you are in ISRO. So you may be knowing that it's more difficult to retrieve than to shoot.
That's right. As in DID also, yeah. So basically re-entry vehicle is always more dangerous than for ISRO, it is only sending it to the space, but re-entering is the most critical part of it. Yes.
Here in DID. Okay. So there will, so DID anyway, so you know, there you have lesser weapons which can retrieve than those which can shoot. That's what I understand. So it's more difficult. So it seems that there are more conditions for retrieving than for shooting. In the modern days, it is there, and certainly it is there in the ancient days also. Like we find even when Indrajit was shooting Brahmastra, Lakshman was about to shoot another Brahmastra to counteract it. The Brahmastra of Indrajit. So that time, Lord Ram stopped Lakshman, saying that, my dear Lakshman, if you also shoot your Brahmastra, it will unnecessarily kill a lot of living entities. So even at that time, it's not that just Lakshman retrieved the weapon. He was going to counteract by using his own Brahmastra. So amazingly, that time there is no mention about retrieving the Brahmastra. We find here only in the case of Arjuna that he is retrieving the Brahmastra. So it seems like retrieving is like more rare. That's what I understand. So anyway, I'm not very expert in Dhanurvidya. I just have learned here and there from different Acharya's commentaries. Okay, now we'll go into the arguments. So that is the crux of the whole episode, the arguments. Please read the translation 35.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Lord Sri Krishna said, "O Arjuna, you should not show mercy by releasing this relative of a Brahmana, Brahma Bandhu, for he has killed innocent boys in their sleep."
Yeah. So he has killed the innocent boys. That's extremely heinous. So already he is Brahma Bandhu, because being a Brahmana, he has not behaved like a Brahmana because he was fighting in Mahabharata wars, although there was no emergency. So the Dronacharyas and Ashwatthama's fighting in the war is condemned. Because Kshatriyas, Brahmanas can take the profession of the Kshatriyas only under the emergency condition. So initially they were in the court of Dhritarashtra because they were poverty stricken. That was appropriate. But fighting in Mahabharata was not appropriate. Already he's a Brahma Bandhu. On top of that, what he has done? He has killed innocent boys who were sleeping. We were not even fighting with them. So such a person, he has broken even the normal course of humanity. So then he should be killed. So Krishna was really angry. And then he tells about who are the people who cannot be killed. Mattam, pramattam, anumattam, suktam, balam, sthiryam, jadam, prapannam, viretam, bhitam, naretum, hanti, dharmavit. So those who are dharmavit, knower of dharma, so they don't kill the enemy in case, what is he? Mattam. Mattam is careless. Carelessly, he did some mistake, or carelessly he was not able to defend himself. So then they don't kill at that time when a person is careless. Pramattam. Pramattam is intoxicated. So that time he is not in his senses. That time he cannot be killed. Even if somebody is there in the war. And even today we find people who commit some grievous offense when they are intoxicated. So then they are not punished very severely. Punishment is very, very less. Like recently, because there were a lot of, now we'll not go in detail, but there were like fights between two groups or two religions, very popular just in the recent past. So one of the fellows from one religion, he started speaking all nonsense about another religion. So then policemen were telling him that you tell them that I was intoxicated and I just released this video. Because if the judges find that you are intoxicated and in intoxication you spoke something wrong, that's not considered a grievous offense. So then that's not considered very grievous, intoxicated. Unmattam. Unmattam is somebody is insane, is a madman. So if a madman commits some crime, then he's sent to a mental asylum. He's not given a death penalty, even if he commits something like murder. Suptam, somebody is sleeping, you are not supposed to attack the enemy. Balam. Balam is, he's a mere boy, he doesn't have enough strength to fight. Striyam, somebody is woman. Jadam. Jadam means somebody is foolish. Prapantam. Prapantam means somebody is surrendered. Already he has surrendered. Viratham. Ratha is not there. You have a chariot, he doesn't have a chariot. And Bhitam. Bhitam is somebody is fearful. He's extremely fearful. So he doesn't want to fight at all. He's hiding or running away. Like we find when the demigods are fighting with Vritrasura. So demons started attacking the demigods. Vritrasura was chastising. He said, no, these fellows are already fearful. That means they're already dead. Why are you fighting with them? And then later on, when Demigods became very powerful and they were fighting with the demons, and demons were running away. That time he was chastising the demons, saying that be courageous, don't worry about death, do the dharma of fighting. How can you run away like a coward or like a woman? You should act like a Kshatriya and fight. And then he was chastising demigods also. But already these people are like the stool of their mothers. On top of that, you are also behaving in such a cowardice way that you are attacking them. So that is how somebody is very fearful, then he cannot be killed. But these children were both Balam and Suktam. They are sleeping boys. So then they are not supposed to be killed. Yes, please read 37.
Hare Krishna. A cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' lives deserves to be killed for his own well-being. Otherwise, he will go down by his own actions.
Yeah. So in this way, person who behaves in such a way, he is supposed to be killed as a matter of mercy. Because if he is not punished, then he will suffer manifold times by the hands of Yamdutas. So that's why the capital punishment given by the king for a person who is murdered with a heinous intention is an act of mercy. It's not an act of cruelty. Nowadays we find in the modern scenario, there are many places where prisoners are not given any punishment at all. Rather, Atul Krishna was telling us in one class that if you go to the prison houses of Australia, then they may be better than most of the Indian houses. So if Indians want to live a good life, luxurious life, better go to Australia, commit some crime, go in the prison. So prisoners are given so many facilities in the prison houses. But when Kshatriyas follow the code of Dharma and they punish, it's for the betterment of the Aswathama, of the person who is supposed to be punished. So if you want to be merciful on Aswathama, even from that point of view, kill him. Don't take him to the tent. 38th.
Hare Krishna. Furthermore, I have personally heard your promise, Draupadi, that you would bring forth the head of the killer of her sons.
And top of that, you have taken a vow also. So even to fulfill your vow, you should kill this Aswathama. So you told Draupadi, I've heard, I'll bring all these, the head of this Aswathama, and then you stand on the head of Aswathama and you take a bath. So that time, your heart will be pacified and my heart will be pacified. Please read 39th.
Hare Krishna. This man, yeah, okay. Please read.
This man, X39, this man is an assassin and murderer of your own family members. Not only that, but he has also dissatisfied his master. He is but the burned remnants of his family. Kill him immediately.
Yeah.
40?
No, yes, that's all. Assassin. 39. So he is an assassin. So assassin, from assassin comes the word of assassination. So Prabhupada also uses a very particular words like assassin. So if you go into the history of assassin, we will not go much in the history, but assassins were the people who were employed by the people of Islamic faith for killing the leaders of Christian faith. So they were called assassins. And from there comes the word assassination. So when a great personality is killed by someone, it's not called killing, it's called assassination. And a person who kills is called assassin. So this man is an assassin. Yes, that means he has killed so many great personalities. And he has murdered their own family members, especially these 5 sons of Draupadi. And he couldn't even satisfy Duryodhana. You may say, okay, he was loyal to his master, and that is why he killed the 5 sons of Draupadi. No, but even Duryodhana was not dissatisfied. So this fellow deserves to be killed. He's not be left like that. Now you can read 40th.
Sutta Goswami said, although Krishna, who was examining Arjun in religion, encouraged Arjun to kill the son of Dronacharya, Arjun, a great soul, did not like the idea of killing him, although Ashwatthama was a heinous murderer of Arjuna's family members.
Yeah, so just a minute. So now reading this particular translation, Krishna told Arjuna to kill, but Arjuna did not like the idea of killing Ashwatthama, although he was heinous murderer of Arjuna's family members. Now, is this symptom of surrender or not? Krishna is telling, he is ordering, and he is not just ordering, he is also giving reasons. And Arjuna is saying, doesn't seem so that I should kill. So isn't it an absence of surrender, or isn't it a rebellious nature? Some devotees would like to enlighten us.
Devotees' heart soft-hearted.
Okay, devotees' heart is soft, and that's why other spiritual master ordered he didn't kill.
Maybe he knew Krishna's mind actually.
Okay, he knew Krishna's mind, Krishna's heart, and that's why he didn't kill. But what about other devotees? Does someone else would like to speak? Somebody else speak.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I'll try. Though. So in other cases, the whole aim was very broad, like establishing the dharma. But here it was, one was more for personal gain and satisfying this, you cannot say ego, but satisfying this for the satisfaction of his own family member. So probably this was not having a very broader meaning for which Krishna has asked him to fight. So, Krishna, even in the broader meaning in the war, he asked him to fight the dharma war, not concerned about whether he is success or failure. But he was not Lord was not involving intricately that what to do or what not to do. So probably surrenderness is in a broader meaning where he asked him, but he was never instructing him that do this and do that. So probably can we understand that way, Prabhuji?
Okay, so Krishna was just suggesting, not instructing. That's what you say. Am I right? If I put in the particular words.
It was Krishna was instructing when he surrendered. So surrender is for broader meaning, not for in a smaller day-to-day senses. So when we say the surrenderness on the value, not that for individual gain or loss.
Okay, so it was not about, here it was individual gain, whereas in the case of Mahabharata it was not an individual gain. That's why here he could take a chance to not follow, right?
He was confused.
He was confused. Okay, whether to follow, not to follow.
No, Prabhuji. Not that, but
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So Krishna instructed to kill him, but he killed him in another way. I mean, the way he treated, he took out the jewel.
No, that's a different thing. We are just talking about the point. Krishna is saying kill. He's not telling here how to kill, not to kill. Krishna is saying kill, simple.
Yeah, maybe Arjuna, he was Brahmana, so Arjuna knew that Krishna is protector of Brahmana, so we don't want to.
Okay, but Krishna is saying Krishna is not saying that he's Brahmana. Krishna is saying he's Brahma Bandhu.
Earlier he was Brahmana.
Earlier he was Brahmana. That's Arjun's hesitant. But Krishna is saying, I don't like this Brahmana.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, he is the son of his master Dronacharya. That is why he wanted not to kill him.
But Arjuna, Krishna already spoke whole Bhagavad Gita and convinced him to kill, shoot arrows at Dronacharya and Bhishmadev. Did he forget the whole Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, he forgot. My God.
He's a Kshatriya, so he would fight only when the other person is also fighting. Now, Ashwathama is already in a state where he cannot fight.
Now, okay.
Prabhuji, can we conclude this that sometimes if the spiritual master is telling us also, but he leaves on us to take it?
We are going a little closer to that fact, which we wanted to discuss about. Yes, Manish, bro.
Hare Krishna, Vedana Pranam. Because Ashwadhama, the mood of Krishna, he got that because the Ashwadhama didn't have any weapons in his hand. He was without weapons. He was without any support, and if he's asking him to kill immediately, that means he wanted him to judge himself that is he really like, and weapons in his hand, and has any complete supportless. So that the fighting has to be on a equal level. It was not an equal level at all. I just wanted to add points in it. I'm sorry if I could not add a value on it. Sorry.
Okay. Anyway, from that point of view, we see that he's not even acting like a Kshatriya, no? He's an aggressor. So Kshatriya, when he's having a weapon in hand, you have to deal him with like a Kshatriya. And anyway, he has defeated him through war only. And that is, then he's killing him. Not that he was weaponless and he just caught him and he's about to behead him. It's not like that. Okay, Madhusudan Vishnu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In one place, Srila Prabhupada writes that Krishna instructs a living entity from outside as spiritual master and from inside as Paramatma. And these two instructions should match. They should agree with one another. So in the section when Krishna was trying to convince Yudhishthira Maharaj why he should not lament after the battle was over, and still Yudhishthira Maharaj was not understanding, the purport Prabhupada writes, from inside Krishna was not allowing Yudhishthira to understand, because Krishna wanted Bhishma Pitama to give those instructions to Yudhishthira so that Bhishma is glorified. So here I can understand that Arjuna is a surrendered soul. So from outside Krishna is telling him he should kill, but from inside Krishna as Paramatma is telling him, that he should act otherwise. And that's why he's not ready to follow that instruction. He's not fully convinced. And later on, I think Prabhupada will also mention that Krishna was actually testing him. So this is I think my understanding of this.
Yes, thank you. So you are also going pretty closer to the discussion or to the point. So what we understand from all these points is the instruction of the spiritual master, they have to take in as a life and soul. At the same time, it doesn't close the gate to discussions. So even we see in the whole Bhagavad Gita, there was quite a discussion between Arjuna and Krishna. So following is not something like blind following. So spiritual master also, when he instructs, he expects the disciple to use his faculty of intelligence. Intelligence means basically Guru Sadhu Shastra. So it's more of a discussion than just an instruction. Like we find even in the case of Prabhupada himself when he was talking to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So only after the whole discussion between Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and Prabhupada, then Prabhupada himself got convinced that I have to follow the instructions from his spiritual master to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya in the Western world. Similarly, you find one of the reasons why Prabhupada liked Tamal Krishna Maharaj so much was because Tamal Krishna Maharaj was sometimes even standing in the opinion of Prabhupada. And he would discuss. So Prabhupada said that I would like people with brains. So similarly, so the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple is very intimate. It's not like a order of a general where he says to shoot and the soldiers just shoot. It is not something like that. So it's a very, very loving relationship between the spiritual master and Guru Sudran Sahirda. Sahirda. Disciple understand that he is my well-wisher. And it's a pretty intimate relationship. So same Krishna was instructed on Arjuna. He wanted Arjuna to use the faculty of his intelligence and see what Krishna actually wants. And that's why we have 6 angas of surrender. Anukula, Sankalpa, Pratikula, Savardhana. So one has to see what is favorable and what is not favorable. So it's not something like, no, it's spoken from the mouth and it is done. There is a great realm of understanding the well-being. Yes, Manish to answer.
Prabhuji, is it put some light on the point that when we take this episode in our spiritual life, that when the spiritual master gives some instruction, we should also put our mind in between, and we should also think that is it really practical for us to follow? Is this not contradicting in the sense that we are every time examining spiritual master from our mind, that is it right thing or not? Is it the way if we take this episode in our life?
Yeah. So what I understand practically is, we will like to take even what we say feedback from Bhakti Prem Maharaj. He's an example of following for the whole life. So what I like we understand from the scriptures and what I heard from the senior devotees is that we can discuss with the spiritual master. And then whatever is practical, we do it. So we don't deny. Denying is something bad. But discussing is not something bad. It's not condemned. So the faculty of intelligence has not to be given up. Rather, we have to use our faculty of intelligence to get convinced of what is right. Because unless until we are convinced, we can't continue following the instructions which are supposed to be very long instructions. And the spiritual master doesn't give one instruction, he gives many instructions. Like I'll tell one episode about one devotee was relative. So he was there, his spiritual master was there in the first floor, and this devotee was in the ground floor. So spiritual master called him for some service. And there are a lot of devotees who were crowded in the temple at that time. So this devotee, what he did is, he jumped off many devotees and he came in front of the spiritual master. And the spiritual master told him, just sit down, and he went inside. He didn't give him any service. So then this devotee realized that the spiritual master was giving him some service, but he didn't want it to get the service done at the cost of offending so many other devotees. So taking care of so many other devotees is also the instruction of the spiritual master only. So spiritual master doesn't give one instruction, he gives so many instructions. And one has to use one's intelligence to see that all the instructions of the spiritual master are proper. It's not just one instruction. Like Giriraj Maharaj also, Prabhupada told him, Giriraj Maharaj, that you write books. And then Giriraj Maharaj couldn't write for many time, long time. And then he wrote, Prabhupada, I am not getting time to write. Prabhupada said that spiritual master's instruction cannot be denied, but it can be delayed. It can be delayed. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati told me to take the message in the Western world and preach throughout the world. I was a grasta, I couldn't do that. But as soon as I got an opportunity, I preached in the Western world. So it has to be, practical steps have to be taken while executing the instruction of the spiritual master. So now we'll expect Maharaj can enlighten us.
No? He explained so nicely. So as Arjun decided, that means Arjun understood that Krishna wanted me to take decision as a pure devotee of Krishna. So he explained that Arjuna should not blindly follow his instruction. That means Arjuna understood Krishna's mind, that I have to take decision. From Krishna's mind, he is telling. And Madhusudan Prabhu also gave that problem also very nice. Yeah, Krishna is making not to understand from within. So I think all discussion are very nice. You have given the conclusion. Thank you very much.
So now I'm confident of our understanding. Mother sense and so there's some good episode we can learn in our own lives also. And generally it happens it's for more of you can say dilemma or confusion for new devotees who think that there is no scope for discussion. But as we grow, we understand there is quite a good amount of discussion, even with the spiritual master. And many times spiritual master give a lot of instructions and we discuss with them and then we can follow certain things on a practical level. And what was your first class disciple? He understands even the heart of the spiritual master. Like you find Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu was instructed by Lord Chaitanya, don't come during the Tatra. You have to preach in the Bengal. You spend 1 month coming, 1 month going, walking, 4 months staying here. Then who will preach in Bengal? And Nityananda Prabhu denied. So of course only Nityananda Prabhu can do that. He knew the heart of Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya was very satisfied when Nityananda Prabhu ignored the instruction of Lord Chaitanya. So certainly it's not practical for us. It's something like very high. But certainly at our level, we can certainly discuss and then practically we can see how to please the spiritual master better. So that goal has to be very clear. So good discussion. That's a good point of discussion. Thank you for sharing so many powerful points. Yes, Dhananjay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So here, one of the point which was discussed that externally the Lord was telling that to execute his instruction, but as a localized from that Paramatma is saying not to do that. But here we also see that this Bhagwan, Paramatma and Brahman. So Bhagwan has got all the potency. So if there is at all a contradiction between Bhagwan and Paramatma, then Bhagwan instruction is to be followed, isn't it? Or we can counter it with Paramatma's instruction.
Now for devotees, Paramatma is only Bhagwan. Tumhara hriday sada Govinda Visram, Govinda kahena mora Vaishnava paran. So for devotees, it's Krishna only who stays in the heart. It's not just Paramatma with 4 hands. So for devotees, no difference between inside and outside. Ultimately, what we find is Krishna wanted Arjuna to take decision, although it seemed externally that Krishna is instructed. And Arjuna, being a first-class disciple, could understand that. And that is why he is going to take decision now. But the point is that even during whole Bhagavad Gita, we find it's not that Arjuna blindly followed Krishna. And neither we find here also. So Arjuna fully got convinced and he followed Krishna. Now suddenly when Krishna is there, no question of like saying no. But at the same time, it's a good lesson for all of us that when we say Guru is a Tattva, and there's a personality who's following that Guru Tattva. So that's why we have Guru Sadhu Shastra check whenever we are taking some action. So whatever Guru is speaking, he should repeat the scriptures, and it should also tally with the understanding of the scriptures of other sadhus also. So then we follow the Guru. Otherwise, there is a chance of deviation also. So it's not Guru, it's Guru Tattva. Even Krishna quotes from scriptures. Somebody can remember some episode where Krishna quotes from scriptures. Some verse in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna quotes from scriptures. Okay. So there is a verse where Krishna speaks, Brahma Sutras Padasyeva. That, my dear Arjuna, whatever knowledge I'm giving is already given in Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra. So even Krishna spoke from scriptures. And we find in the beginning of 14th chapter also. So he uses the word Bhuya. And Vishnu Chakravarti explains it that Bhuya means that already this knowledge was given by the sages previously, and Krishna is going to speak it again. He's going to repeat it. So even Lord also quotes the scriptures. Rather, we find in one place, Prabhupada speaks, there's one personality who's empowered incarnation of the Lord, but he doesn't speak from scriptures. That's why we don't follow him. Who is that personality?
Lord Buddha.
Lord
Yeah, Lord Buddha. So Lord Buddha is empowered incarnation of the Lord. We believe in him that he is Satya Vishavatar. At the same time, because he doesn't speak from scriptures, we don't follow him. So it's Guru Sadhu Sastra. It's not just Guru alone. Okay, so please read 51.
After reaching his own camp, Arjuna, along with his dear friend and charioteer Sri Krishna, entrusted the murderer to his dear wife, who was lamenting for her murdered sons. Sri Sudha Goswami, should I go on?
Please continue. Yes. So now after doing this, now we'll find that what is the reaction of Draupadi, Bhima, Yudhishthira, and all the people who had assembled there in the tent. Please read.
Sri Sudha Goswami said, Draupadi then saw Ashwatthama, who was bound with ropes like an animal and silent for having enacted the most inglorious murder. Due to her female nature and due to her being naturally good and well behaved, she showed him due respects as a Brahmana. She could not tolerate Ashwatthama's being bound by ropes and being a devoted lady. She said, release him, for he is a Brahmana, our spiritual master.
Yeah. So the word used is Bhama Sabhava. So because of his feminist nature, and we find that naturally women have the nature to respect some people, respect especially the sadhus or the brahmanas. There's one more episode where a lady respected a brahmana and she got into very, very big trouble.
Kunti Durvasa.
Kunti Durvasa. So how Kunti got, okay, that was, but she misused, I won't say misused, she tested the mantra and that's how she got into trouble. That was, I don't think it's like such a clear example.
Sita and Ravana.
Sita and Ravana. So they're like a very contrasting example. So Mother Sita could understand this fellow doesn't have good intention. Because she was giving charity and she was telling that no, accept the charity. And Ravana wanted him how to give charity from very close by. So she could test that, she could understand that there is some heinous intention. But naturally, women have that Vama Sabhava in the sense that they're inclined and well behaved, especially towards Brahmanas and Sadhus. And that is how, although Ashwatthama had done such a heinous act, practically killed her brother, her own children, not just one, all 5 of them, killed all the army men of her father's side, but then she couldn't tolerate Ashwatthama being bound. This is one view. Another view, it is more from the side of a devotee also. Because anybody who causes so much harm, naturally a person would have hard feelings for such a person. He would like to somehow harm that person. But we find that Draupadi is not like that. Draupadi is ready to even forgive to that extent. Yes, Jahandapu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, as you had explained in the beginning, that it is with Kal permissions only, and with even the sword which are given by him. So it was indirect consent of the Lord himself. And here also we see that many of the people who has participated in it, like even this Abhimanyu and all, so respective like Abhimanyu was the son of Chandra, and he released him for a short while. So is it that all these people, like sons of Draupadi, also has been released by different he was the son of different demigods, and he has been made available to participate in the Mahabharata war only for a short time, and this is one of the way he wanted, like Lord Krishna, to send him back. So was it the case? Because later on we also see that this Ashwatthama, he's a Chiranjeevi, and he has to play a very important role at the end of I understand Kali Yuga or something. So so it is all with the consent of the Lord, and this is some way it is a kind of lila, it is being performed.
Yeah. So certainly it is a part of lila, but at the same time we understand that we also pick up the lessons from the lila. So there are, I would say there is more of a role play, and then there are lessons to be learned. Like for example, we'll find some contrasting purports even in the Bhagavad Gita. I think it's towards the end of first chapter and the beginning of second chapter. So in one of the purports, Prabhupada writes, this is a symptom of devotee. That although Pandavas were so much harassed and tried to be killed by the Kauravas, despite that Arjuna is lamenting at their death. This is a symptom of a devotee. So Prabhupada praises Arjuna. And just after a few purports, Prabhupada writes, Arjuna is crying like a lady by seeing that his relatives will be killed. This is weakness of the heart. Now somebody takes all the both the purports, he will be confused. Is it a weakness of the heart, or it's like a devotee's heart? So now in reality, the truth is that it is devotee's heart only. But then when we see from weakness of the heart, it's more to derive a lesson from the episode. So when we read scriptures, we read from two point of views. One is the reality. So reality is that it is a role play. And also we understand that different sons of the demigods have entered in their bodies. So they could get a son of pure devotees. And they can also get an opportunity to advance in Krishna consciousness. So practically in all the bodies of the Vishnu dynasty, all the percent of Vishnu dynasty, they also had demigod counterparts. And also all the Pandavas and many people who participated in the Mahabharata war, they had demigods counterparts in their body. So they were there. So that's an internal reason, or you can say the reality. But apart from that, what we learn is we learn the lesson from the play. So we see from both the point of view. Okay, Dhananjay.
Yes, bro. Thank
you. Okay, so in this way, Draupadi said, release him. Now she started remembering the, you can say, she expressed her gratitude. So you can see how Draupadi is speaking grateful words and the reason to release Ashwatthama. Please read 44, 45, 46, or three of them you can read.
It was Dronacharya's mercy that you learned the military art of throwing arrows and the confidential art of controlling weapons. He, Dronacharya, is certainly still existing, being represented by his son. His wife Kripi did not undergo a sati with him because she had a son. The most fortunate one who know the principles of religion, it is not good for you to cause grief to glorious family members who are always respectable and worshipful.
Yeah. So first reason which Draupadi gave is that he is Brahmana's son, so don't kill him. Second is he said, at least have some gratitude for Dronacharya. Dronacharya taught you how to shoot arrows, and now you are killing his son only. So that's why he should not be killed. The second reason she gives. Third reason she gives is that violence to Ashwatthama will be violence to Kripi, the wife of Dronacharya. Because she didn't happen to become a sati with Dronacharya just because he had a son. So the third reason she gives. Fourth reason which she gives is that giving grief to the people of glorious family who are respectable and merciful, like the Acharyas. So according to the Dharma Shastras, it is considered a sinful activity. So according to Arth Shastra, anybody who is an aggressor can be killed. But Dharma Shastras are higher than the Arth Shastras. So according to Dharma Shastras, if such a personality is an Acharya, then he should not be killed. Because such an Acharya has done so much benefit to the society that even if he acts very heinously, one should not kill him. So that's why whenever the punishments are given, the credits of the person are also counted. That's the reason we find both of the Dharma Shastras, like Manu Smriti and Parasara Smriti, in both of them, different punishments are given for different people. And the reason is that there are different people who impact the society in a different way. And whatever good they have done to the society, that cannot be just ignored like that. So that is the reason we can't ignore the past of a person just by seeing a particular activity. What to say that in case of devotees, Krishna is like has such a heart that Krishna says, Abhishek Charo, Bhajte Maam Ananya Bhav. So anybody who is doing my devotion service is Ananya Bhakti is doing, then even if he acts very despicably, I call him a sadhu. But the reason is that even if somebody acts very wrongly, the reason a person is given punishment is to rectify that person. That is the purpose of punishment. But more purifying than punishment is the karmaganda process of prashchitta. That's why prashchitta, if somebody does a prashchitta, he's following the laws of dharma, he again situates himself in dharma, then no more punishment is required for him. But more purifying than prashchitta is jnana. When one realizes that I'm not body, I'm soul, that's even more purifying. If somebody is doing jnana, then he doesn't have to do prashchitta also. But most purifying process is the process of bhakti. Raj Vidya Raj Goyam Pavitramita Muttamam. It is most purifying. That's why somebody is practicing bhakti, even if he acts very wrongly, punishment won't purify him to the degree bhakti will purify him. That's why punishment should never be given in such a way that person becomes discouraged in his own practice of bhakti. If somebody does that, then what he is doing? He's denying him to actually get purified, and he's giving a lower process of purification. That's why whenever we are in authoritative position, we are supposed to act in such a way that person is encouraged to take bhakti more strongly, because there's no process more purifying than the process of bhakti. So that's what devotees. And even from Dharma Shastra point of view, things are seen and then their decision is taken. Impact on the society, person's contribution to the society. Okay. Manish Sohanpur and Sachinandan Haripur. Then we'll start from the next verse. Manish, I'm not able to hear you. Other devotees are able to hear him? So we cannot hear you. Maybe because of some network problem. Hari, we are not able to hear you, Prabhu. So what you can do, maybe you can. I think he's also not able to hear us. Prabhu, what you can do, you can write maybe in the chat box.
Am I audible?
And now you're audible. Yes.
Yes, yes. Prabhuji, in shloka number 16, when Arjuna told that he will take the head of the Brahmana, and she got pacified.
Again, your voice is breaking now.
Argue with that statement that he would.
Okay, I understood now what you are speaking. Maybe I'll try to predict the question. So his question is that earlier Draupadi, when Arjuna said that I'll bring the head of this Brahmana who had done such a heinous act. That time Draupadi didn't say anything. And now, what is happening actually? Manish, you are looking mute, but your sound is.
You can switch off the video and speak, Prabhuji. Manish Prabhuji.
Okay, anyway, he's not speaking anything now.
And she got pacified, and now she is.
I understood. So I'll rephrase your question. So your question is that earlier when Arjuna said that I'll behead him, bring the head. That time she didn't say anything, and now she's giving so many arguments. Now we understand this is human nature. So when we also are carried away by certain emotions, then a lot of people speak so many things. But when a person is cool-headed, then he goes more deeper into the taking decision making. And that is the reason we are not supposed to take the decisions when we are too much swayed away by the emotions. So that does happen with the devotees also. So we have to understand pure devotees are not machines. They are also personalities. Like we find in the Ramayana also, in one of the Ramayana, the episode is given when Hanumanji, he burns whole Lanka. And then he starts lamenting. What happened to Asok Vatika? Hopefully Asok Vatika is not burnt and Sita is not harmed. So there is a possibility where a person can commit mistake when he is overflowed by emotions. That's why it is only Krishna who is supreme controller. So there's always a difference between Jiva and Krishna. As far as Jiva is concerned, there is a possibility that he can be under the clutches of material energy. Material energy is very powerful. So there's a possibility. Okay. Otherwise, we have 0 and 1. Pure devotee, he should not commit any mistake. And conditioned soul means he will always commit mistakes. It's not like that. Even pure devotees can commit mistakes. There's possibility. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Sachinandan Haripur.
Am I audible now?
You're audible, yes, bro.
Okay. After listening to your, examples, I recall there were some. I had heard about some fall down of some devotees in ISKCON.
Mm-hmm.
But then they were given a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
So possibly this attitude must have been taken into consideration.
Yes. What to say of second chance? Many people are given dozens of chance and hundreds of chance. And really speaking, and if you see in the true terms, Krishna is also giving us so many chances, really speaking. Because totally giving up the desire to enjoy sense gratification, it takes a lot of time. Like no, taking prasad only as a service. No.
Yeah.
With no desire to enjoy, only to please Krishna. It's quite a high level. Always following the spiritual master's words, thinking about, benefit of Guru and Krishna and no one else. No desire for any self-interest. It's quite a high level. So Krishna is pretty accommodative, and he gives a lot of opportunity for us to raise ourselves to that level. What to say of that? Vishwanath Yogi Thakur writes at one place, meditation of a Madhyamadikari on Krishna is merely a farce. That's Madhyamadikari, that's not Kanishadikari. So main thing is, the lowest level in the spiritual realm is Krishna Prem. And Krishna gives opportunity for us to stand up and fall down and again struggle and come to the level of always following Krishna, working for the benefit of Guru Sadhu Shastra. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of struggles are there. So what is our second chance? So many times now devotee are given so many chances. If we talk about Prabhupada times, many things are unmentionable. We can't even mention them. So there are many letters of Prabhupada. Devotees have gone through them here in Mayapur. I know some devotees. They were saying we just can't print them. It's not possible.
That means he must be having so strong views on this.
Yeah. So no, not strong views. They cannot be written because Prabhupada was so accommodative.
Oh, okay.
Prabhupada is so accommodative. It's like you can't apply it generally in the ISKCON scenario. I'll tell you one bewildering pastime, that's all. That may bewilder you. I'll not tell the name of the devotee. The devotee himself told us. And it's not printed anywhere. He personally told us only. Myself and some brahmacharis were there. So this particular devotee was a temple patient in a temple. And he was not chanting. So the complaint went to Prabhupada that Prabhupada is not chanting. And Prabhupada wrote a strong letter. He said, somebody is not chanting. What is being a temple president? He can't call himself as a devotee also. But within few days, Prabhupada came there. And he talked to this devotee. And this devotee said, Prabhupada, now I'm trying to chant my rounds and this and that. I'm struggling. What to do? So many services that I'm not able to chant. So Prabhupada said, don't worry so much. How many rounds did Arjuna chant during the Mahabharata war? He was just shooting arrows. So Prabhupada was speaking something here, something he was speaking to this devotee, encouraging him. So basic thing is Prabhupada wanted all the devotees to chant 16 rounds, follow 40 principles. At the same time, Prabhupada was very accommodative also. He knew a certain devotee is struggling. So he would accommodate them and try to bring them to that level. So we just can't imitate everything in the ISKCON scenario, because we have certain rules and regulations. But at the same time, we have to learn the principle is that we should encourage devotees to come up to standards rather than punishing them. So that's the essence.
If Krishna can be so accommodative, then we should also try to do the same for new devotees.
Yes, sir. Not new devotees, old devotees. Really speaking, what happens is generally we are accommodated to ourselves, but we are not accommodated to others.
Yes.
It's rather, it should be other way around. We should be strict with be strict with oneself and lenient with others. This is the principle. So ourselves we should be very strict, but other people we should be accommodative, lenient, try to grow them. So that should be the principle. Okay, last question by Dhananjay Bro. We are already over time.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. So if you have time, then only I'll ask. Otherwise, I'll ask tomorrow. If you have time, Prabhuji, because you have a Bhakti Sastri class also.
Yeah. So another thing is also many devotees are very senior and they are like very busy.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you can hold for tomorrow, that will be better.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Thank you. So we'll end here. गंधरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय
पाठ की
जय
वांछा कल्पद्रुवैसा कृपा सिंधुवैसा पतितानां अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की।
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nice
Hare
class.
Krishna.
Nice.